panels, the trends of merging and acquisition within tech industry is really beneficial for consumers, laborers, and the company itself. First of all, I want to agree with the Prime Minister of the government side of the House status quo, but what I see from her status quo is really backlashing with all the rest of her speech, ladies and gentlemen. Her status quo said that it will be beneficial at the expense of healthy competition, consumers' privacy, labor's right, and the urgency to innovate, with which all of her speech tells the opposite of it, which means her status quo is not justified for them, but it will be justified for us, so I will take their status quo and I want to say thank you to them. Now, coming to my rebuttals, ladies and gentlemen, I will start from their first argument, which they said that it is unjustified, and her reason is that she said that will limit the consumer ability to exercise the privacy, for example, selling your data and so on and so forth. But we said no, ladies and gentlemen, they don't limit it. Yes, maybe they use your data for an advertisement, but it is already the terms of agreement that we accept before as the user. Furthermore, the data taken not by the human, it is taken by the artificial intelligence and not gives harm to us, ladies and gentlemen. Even it gives us benefit, ladies and gentlemen. For example, we can get more related content for us as the user, or gives us the recommendation for an app to use later, or where to buy something that we really wanted to buy before. And next, they say that it will take away the acquired company freedoms, but we say no again, ladies and gentlemen, because the mechanism of merging company is not as simple as that. Facebook will keep minding their business, while WhatsApp will keep minding their business too. When they merge, Facebook will use WhatsApp to expand their company. Vice versa, the WhatsApp will use Facebook to expand their companies too. WhatsApp will still has the rights to make more innovation or decision by themselves. Even the Facebook will help the WhatsApp to get expanding, which means it be beneficial for both of them. And because of that, her first argument has been taken down. Now, coming to her second argument, which she said that it will directly harms the laborers and consumer. But we say no, it won't, because it will give the benefits to the consumer and the laborers, which I will explain later in my arguments. And here in this debate, our stance is already very clear, ladies and gentlemen. We would not regret these mergers and acquisitions within the tech industry, and we will oppose this motion, ladies and gentlemen. And in this debate, I will prove to you two things. The first one is why we would not regret the mergers and the acquisition within the tech industry, and secondly, how the mergers and the acquisitions within the tech industry would give benefits to laborers and consumers. And today in this debate, I will bring up two main arguments, which is the first one is this is really justified, and the second one is it is directly benefits the consumers and the laborers, ladies and gentlemen. Now, jumping to my first arguments, these mergers and acquisitions are justified. And why this is justified, ladies and gentlemen? First, it will help the acquired company to expand and innovate. And how, ladies and gentlemen? The bigger companies acquire the small companies for an exact reason, which is expanding their industries. Now, what they need to do is to attract more consumer and users by giving the good services and features. In order to reach that, they will need to do innovation of both bigger and smaller companies. Because of that, the bigger company will send and give their resources to the smaller companies and helps them expanding, getting bigger and getting better, which is beneficial for both of the companies. Now, it will trigger the other companies, individual or independent companies, to expand, innovating and getting better too, ladies and gentlemen. It would be a trigger for them to not lag behind those companies. They will get more energetic and more ambitious to catch up and compete with the merged companies. Furthermore, we can create a future modern society where these tech companies keep evolving and keep getting something new. The more competitors we have, the more invention will be produced, since they are racing with each other to steal the consumer's attraction. With those two things that show this is really justified, which means their argument about it's not justified has been taken down, ladies and gentlemen. Now, jumping to my second argument, which is it will directly benefit the consumers and laborers. And the question is how. First one, I will take the consumer sides first. The first is consumers will get easier to do multiple actions at the same time. For example, with GoTo or Gojek and Tokopedia, they are not worried anymore about the shipments. When they buy things from the Tokopedia, the shipments is already directly used by the Gojek, and it's already one packages, which will make it more efficient for the consumer to buy things. Now, secondly, consumer will have many choices. As the example that she gave is that Instagram DMs already connected with the Messenger, which means the user who are not using the Instagram can get a chat or chatting with the Instagram users that they don't need to switch apps. So when the Facebook user doesn't use Instagram, they can still chat the Instagram user, ladies and gentlemen. which is it's very efficient. And thirdly, it gives the consumer the best deals, ladies and gentlemen. As she said before, the merge between company will cut the prices of their products and or even give it free. Well, maybe the customers relies on that merge industries, but it gives them the cheapest price, which is beneficial for the consumers, right? Now, we can see at the labor side. Since the companies merge, the laborers will get three things beneficial. The first one is they will get new experience, new skill, and more wage. Now, I will explain how they will get new experience. For these past times, before their companies merge, the laborers only work and only experience the one side of the companies of the tech industries. But since they are merged, they can also know how the other industries laborers work too, which means they can gain more experience. And secondly, skills. They can gain new skills. When they work together with other industries, they will get a new different system works, ladies and gentlemen, or even new way how the same work could be done. For example, we can take the technician as long as the technician. As long as the technician works with one industry, he only knows one same procedure, ladies and gentlemen. But when they merge, the technicians might know another new procedures on the other industries, ladies and gentlemen. And thirdly and lastly, it can give the more wage to laborers, since the laborers' works will be twice harder and bigger, and they will have a bigger responsibility. The laborers' value will be increased, ladies and gentlemen. Alongside with the raising of the profits from the two industries, after getting many new consumers and users, they can gain more budget, which mean they can pay their laborers' wage more, ladies and gentlemen. So with these arguments, their arguments about the merge that directly harms consumers and laborers has been taken down. And we can even see clearly in our likelihood between our side of the house and their side of the house to make it clear that our side of the house is better, ladies and gentlemen. From our likelihood is the best scenario is that the industries can get more consumers, which means it can attract more investors. Attract more investors can give the industries more budget, which means they can mark down the prices and give the raise to the labor's wage. Even if we cannot get more customers, ladies and gentlemen, we can still get an increase in profits because of the operational cost of the two merged industries can be cut efficiently, which all makes us to still get more budgets to cut down the price and raise the labor's wage, ladies and gentlemen. Comparatively, in the other side of the house, maybe they can cut down the prices or raise their labor wage, but not as much as we can do, because it will harm their profits and their budget, ladies and gentlemen. If they get no profits or their budgets get minus, their industries will be shut down or bankruptcy, ladies and gentlemen. Even worse, when they can't do either of it, their consumer will lose interest and their laborers won't be so productivity. Because they don't get many consumers anymore, they will get a low budget to pay their laborers, which means their laborers won't be so productive and no new innovation from the laborers, and the markets will be boring and their company could be lead into the down of budget, down of profit, which means it could lead into bankruptcy. And with this, I will close my speech with proudly oppose this motion, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.